Rita here, Urltv Media News. We have Mr. Mike P back in the building on his return versus Real Sikh. Oh my goodness, the headline and matchup. Very, very great job tonight. It was a good back and forth that was worth being the headline matchup. How do you feel right now?
It feels good. I feel great. It feels good to be back. I thought it was an incredible back and forth. I'm overly impressed by Sikh, man. I had a feeling he was going to have a breakthrough performance, and yeah, man, just a war. It was beautiful. Beautiful to come back to.
That was crazy. Walk me through your first round, man. I missed your first round. I heard the second and the third, but walk me through the first.
Well, the first was the power round. I like to. Usually the first, I kind of have a pattern. Usually my first round is the most violent, the most haymakers, a lot of haymaker attempts, a lot of room shaker attempts. So it's just a lot of punches, a lot of good scheming, name flips, things like that. Yeah, and it was like the same thing on his end.
Yeah.
We almost kind of took similar approaches with every single round. Like the first round, we both punched each other's heads off, and the second and the third round, we came with angles tied with punches and that. But the first one was violent. First round is always that violent round.
It kind of set the tone a little bit, like, oh my goodness, this is really war.
Yes, 100%.
The second and third though with the angles, man, did you know that was about to happen? Like it was going to be 2 rounds of just angles from the both of you?
I expected him to take approaches. I hit it on the dot. I told a lot of people he's probably going to try to do an angle on me being insecure or how that situation was handled. So I hit it on the dot as far as what he had done. I didn't know if it was going to be 2 rounds of angles, but that's how I prepped. I wanted the second round to try to strip away him labeling himself as the new era. And then the third round just kind of playing that bigger role and just showing him, the ropes and how the battle came about and what battles he probably could have had if it wasn't for certain strings I pulled behind the scenes and stuff like that, which isn't a shot at him, but it's something that is actually dope that I'm in the position that I could do now, because I used to never be able to do that. Now I could be like, listen, young man, I did this and I did that. So just beautiful stuff.
So what exactly did you teach him? There has to be a lesson in these matches like this. So what did you teach him tonight, or what did you learn?
I don't know how much I taught him. I think any lesson that he learned from tonight would probably be that he could hang with people like me. That's probably the biggest
scary.
Lesson.
That's scary to know that.
Yeah, and I had 3 rounds that I spent so much time on, and 3 great rounds, and every single time I thought I was getting away, he came right back over the top. I thought he took the second clearly in the building. I think I took the first, and I thought I took the third pretty clear, but it's just one of those ones, I guess. I don't really care about the wins and the losses. I care about how good the fight was. And it was beautiful.
Yeah, the votes, man, going into the third round, it was 2-0 in favor of Sikh. And then once the third round was over,
the
voting completely switched. Everybody was on your side with the voting in the third round.
Was the voting bad?
No, it wasn't.
It was tied. It was pretty close.
It wasn't like 4,800.
Okay,
it wasn't
all right, cool.
It wasn't nothing like that. You guys it was pretty close, but he won the first 2, and then you just out of the water, like it was completely different in the third.
I knew how good the third was. I knew how good the third was. The first and second were just as good, but I felt like it's harder to package that in a way where you could deliver it right and get the right responses. The third was just one of those ones where the words are just too powerful. The message is too powerful, and it was just always, I felt like it was just one of those automatic like W rounds, to be honest. The first and second were just as good, different, but just as good as far as the skill level. It was just harder to get it out and harder to deliver it than the third was, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Man.
Feels so good.
You feel, are you like relieved now that you finally got that over with? I feel like since people have been seeing Sikh, they've been making the comparison. They've been saying that you guys need to battle. Are you happy that it's finally over?
I didn't care that much about the narrative that me and him were similar or the comparisons. I know they always do that. And what I am relieved is that I came back. Ultimate Madness was it sucked.
Yeah.
You know, it was tough, and you know, it the weight that came off my shoulders at the end of the third round was huge. You know, it's just something that I've been waiting 6-7 months to do.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm happy you returned, and it was the perfect matchup for you.
Yes, which will really most likely be the case from now on. You know, I want to make, you know, I'm at the point now where every battle needs to make sense. And, you know, I could have came back to other people. They had wanted me to battle Nitty, and it just didn't make sense. I'd already battled him in the quarantine, and I would love to battle him in the future, but it's just Sikh is the one. Yeah, sometimes it's not what the fans want, but sometimes it is. And this one was the one. Everybody wanted me and Sikh. Sikh publicly wanted the battle, so you know it was only right to give it to him. And in my third round, like I said the truth. Like I used my likeliness and I used my name to give shots to many people in the game that I battled. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to give Sikh that look, and you know he took full advantage of it.
Yeah.
Full advantage of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his breakthrough right there. He's here. He's here for sure. 100%. Still won the first and the third, but he's here.
Talk about the flows versus the flows. Like you are always very creative with your flows.
Yep.
And you mentioned that in one of your rounds, like how he flows in comparison to you.
I got patterns that rhyme.
Original.
Yeah, you got patterns that rhyme. I have patterns that's mine.
Yeah.
It was kind of, honestly, he was fucking me up with the flows for a little while. I felt like in the second, I had so much energy that I gassed myself out at one point, and his breath control I could learn something from him. I could learn something from him 100%. His breath control and his ability to be aggressive and not yell from here, the sternum, and mess you up. The way he's able to project, and he had my number for a few rhyme patterns for sure. He had my number. Absolutely. He was doing his patterns better than I was doing mine at one point. I felt like in the second he was doing his patterns better. And
of course, that's the only round you're giving him.
And probably no, I mean the first is extremely close. The first I felt like it was extremely close. I popped off early in the first, crazy, and then I ended strong, and he just had a really good just the whole way through. It's just one of those ones. I felt like a classic. I know people throw that term around extremely loosely. I don't know. It was a great battle. It was a great battle. I'll say that for sure. Just how I feel and what he was saying.
Yeah.
What he was saying was great
material. He had a message as well, which was, I mean, I expected that from the both of you to have a message. I just wasn't sure what. And it's like trying to pinpoint it. There's certain things that are obvious, but then there's underlying things that's like, you know, you guys have a relationship. Yeah. You've been knowing him for a while now, been watching him for a while now.
Yes.
So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know what kind of underlying things you guys are going to talk about.
For sure. And then on top of that, it's like, you know, people compare us, and we were very similar tonight. We were very similar. We had the crazy, unprecedented rhyme patterns, and we had the same energy, the same aggression, the same approaches as far as angling each other. We picked each other apart in the second and third round, and we bombed on each other in the first. Yeah. So it was really dope and it was also really dope to be talked to. Everybody's always just, I feel like people don't take advantage of, you know, not me, like I'm like this open book that's easy to make fun of. Everybody could be angled. Everybody could be broken down, and it does a lot. It does a lot for the battle while it's happening, and he took full advantage of it, man. Broke me down. Made me sad.
Man.
I'm not insecure. I have emotions, okay?
Again, I am happy for your return. Yes. It was a great return.
Thank you so much, Rita.
Please go ahead and shout out all your social medias so the people can follow you.
Yes, MikeP.official on Instagram. Is this Mike_P on Twitter. And I am Mike P on Caffeine. I got to find a way to line all those up because it's too different. All of them are way too different. All
across the board.
Yes, I am Mike P all across the board. Coming soon for sure.
It's Slim Rita here. This is Urltv Media News. Super Fight will be on the app. Make sure you got the Urltv app so you can rewatch all of these battles back, man. This whole entire card was crazy. Again, it's Slim Rita here, Urltv Media News, and we're going to catch y'all next time.
Yes, Rita, thank you so much.
No problem.